that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Good evening, Philippines. Maayong gabi sa Tibok, Mindanao, Visayas ug Luzon. Apil ang Sabah. Ako po si Eric Espina. Ito ang inyong Republika. Ayon po sa pag-asa sa Weather Bureau ay may mga 8 pang mga bagyo na darating o mga typhoons na darating sa ating bansa. Kasama po sa bagyong yan ay politikal. At eto na nga, nararanasan natin ng isang bagyo na dumatal sa ating Republika. Ito po ang typhoon ng pork barrel scam. Kaya sa pagkakataong ito po ay ating tututukan itong masalimuot na usapin na ito. Kailan ba nagsimula ito? Sino ang nagsimula nito? At bakit ngayon lang tayo nagmamarcha at nagising? Hindi ba dapat noon pa? Kaya medyo hitik tayo sa ating mga bisita. At nga pala, doon sa ating mga kaibigan, Maya Pabengi Keka, marahay na banggi sa Indugabos. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Ang ating mga guests sa gabing ito ay si Ferdy A. Passion, chairman po ng NATFIL. Nandito rin po si Manny S.D. Lopez. Siya po ang organizer, Organizing for Philippines, OFP. At ikinagagalak ko pong maging bisita, panauhin si Bishop Deogracias Enriquez, chairperson, Commission on Public Affairs, CBCP. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat.
Magandang gabi po. Magandang gabi po sa inyo.
Yan. Okay, unang-una sa lahat po, no, nais ko lang maitanong, medyo ang dami po kasing mga naglalabas ng mga wika nga, there are too many messages on the air. Are we asking for the abolishing the pork barrel? Are we against the system of lump sum? Are we just focused against money, the way money is being spent in Congress, without, focusing on how public funds are also being expended in the executive branch, in the local government? Nalilito ang tao eh. Ano ba? Are projects per se evil, bad? Or is it just because it's a lack of transparency? These are all so many questions gestating in the public mind, and people are trying to get a handle on what is the best approach. Ferdy, let's start with you.
Well, I think the discussion is being limited on Napoles and the Senate and the lower house. When in truth and in fact, Napoles will not be able to do these things without connection in Malacanang.
Okay.
And I'm saying this because it's pretty obvious. It's the DBM that releases the funds. And let us not forget that the congressmen and the senators only identify the projects. And it is the implementing agency which implements it. And according to Senate President Enrile, former Senate President Enrile, the implementing agency gets 3% of the project cost to ensure that there will be no corruption and that the money will be spent properly.
Okay.
But despite of getting 3% of the project cost, the implementing agencies do not, well, it's obvious they do not ensure that there will be no corruption. And then let us not also forget that the President has a bigger pork barrel.
Okay.
And I will mention just one, the Malampaya Fund.
Okay.
Over the years since 2002, it is said that it has accumulated something like 173 billion pesos.
Okay.
And these funds can be spent even without appropriation from Congress, even
Okay.
without even without appropriation cover from the General Appropriations Act, which is
Okay.
unconstitutional. And yet people does not seem to notice it. And
This is why I'm asking, should we just be focusing on Congress and the Senate?
I think we should focus more on the executive, because the executive, when he was campaigning for president, he promised the enactment into law of the Freedom of Information Bill.
Okay.
But after being elected as president, he turned 180 degrees from his promise and was even the one blocking the passage of the FOI bill.
Before I go to money, no, you were talking about 3%. Itong mga SARO, Special Allotment Release Order.
And
Itong
notice
sa
of
3% ba ito, may tongpats pa ba ito para ma-release ng DBM?
According to what I heard from Senator Enrile, the 3% is legal.
Okay.
But I will not be surprised if there is still more than the 3% for the release, no?
May sweldo, kasi may sinasabing may sweldo at may kinikita din.
Yeah.
So ano, may kinikita ba? Liban pa, para lang ma-release yung SARO? Tingin mo?
Palagay ko, meron nga istorya ngayon na malapit daw, di umano si Napoles kay former Secretary Emilia Bong-Odin.
Okay.
And I think the Senate and the lower house should also investigate the closeness, if there is any, of Napoles with the incumbent DBM Secretary,
Okay.
Butsabad.
Manny, same question but I'll add a little more. Are we just going to focus on 2007 to 2009? Are we ready to dare beyond 2009 to cover 2010 and 2013 or even backwards? Or are we timid enough to just accept hanggang dito na lang tayo kasi sobrang napakarami na siguro ang madadamage dito?
First, I'd like to thank you, Eric, for inviting me over.
Yes, my pleasure.
Well, let me wind back a little.
Yes, yes.
Let's say start with the Million People's March.
Yes, correct.
Last Monday.
Correct.
The Million People's March is, as you know, it's a phenomena.
Yes, of course.
It's a social political phenomena. It was basically a citizen-led, spontaneous, non-partisan undertaking. No, it was able to attract quite a number of people, although it fell a little short of the million mark. But you could see a broad-based coalition of citizens wanting to end the regime of graft and corruption in this country.
Okay.
And the minimum demands of this, 500,000 people at the Luneta and those who are outside, which I believe reflects the sentiment of the population. No? The minimum demands is, one, scrap the pork barrel system.
Okay.
Number two, prosecute those who are guilty,
Okay.
those who have abused and misused these public funds, and there should be accountability.
Correct,
In
okay.
all levels of government. And in a broader sense, I believe all of us there, and even those who were not there, their demand is, for more ethical leadership, for good governance. So this, I think, should be the focus of, the current undertakings. No.
Okay.
We could course this through the, through our established institutions,
Okay.
through our democratic and legal institutions,
Yes.
however broken they may be.
Okay.
We will simply have to try, to operate within the constitutional,
Framework.
bounds. no?
Yes.
But of course, there might be occasions when we might come up to a situation where, if these institutions do not respond accordingly to the satisfaction of the Filipino people, then I'm afraid the option for regime change might become a reality.
When you talk of regime, are you talking about just the Senate or...
Well, definitely, I think those responsible,
Okay.
those responsible for this pork barrel mess will have to answer, for their actions. Okay, there has to be accountability, and I believe if the three branches of government will operate together towards a satisfaction of this immediate objective. I'm referring particularly to the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee,
Okay.
to the COA, to the not DBM, to the Ombudsman
Uh-huh.
and of course the Department of Justice. If they could, make things happen, sasaludo ako dyan, Eric.
Okay.
But in the event of failure, I think we will be in for bigger problems.
Bishop, hindi pa sinagot ni Manny yung hinihingi ko.
Oh.
What if a sacrificial lamb is going to be presented just to satisfy the 500,000, the 1 million, and growing dissatisfied Filipinos? And it looks like it may be Napoles, it may be 3, 4 senators, it may be more. Is that justice or is that persecution? Is 2007 to 2009 justice per se? Or should it go forwards and should it cover even past actions?
Well, what is happening now, I think, is an opportunity for us really to be aware of our part
Okay.
in the story and in the country, in society. That we are actually responsible for what is happening, and
Okay.
therefore, looking at what is actually coming out, we should really be able to point out at what is really evil. And to the evil, justice must be done. No? But what is more important for me is that this is an opening of the consciousness of the Filipino people. And I hope that it is from there that good will come out of this black event.
Now, very well said, no, Bishop? Pero people might be asking for accountability and some are asking for blood in legal terms. So, who will be the sacrificial lamb?
Well, I think we're already starting to see, no, or
The-
to feel that
yes.
there are really persons who will be sacrificed for the good of some persons, no? And I'm sure many more will be sacrificed. But that is, I think, a part of the story of the systemic evil that has come upon us. And some will try to get out of it actually by sacrificing others.
I will ask this question of all three of you, which no other program on television has ever asked. Can we handle the truth? Can we dare seek justice wherever it may lead us? Because when you consider how long this pork barrel system or this lump sum system has been in place, this can go backwards and forwards. Ferdy,
Well,
ikaw, I remember may sinabi ka sa akin na sino naging deputy speaker in 2001 up to 2006. This is what I am getting into.
Benigno Aquino III
Yes.
was the deputy speaker. Remember that Gloria Arroyo was placed into power not through an election but through a people power uprising
Okay.
led by the mother of Noynoy,
Yes,
Cory.
yes.
Cory went to EDSA and exhorted the people to oust ERAP and replace him with what Cory said was an honest and good person, Gloria Arroyo, who will never be corrupt like ERAP. And well, of course, Gloria, when she was already in power, having a debt of gratitude to the Aquinos, well, allowed Deputy Noynoy to become the deputy speaker. And I don't know if the records will bear me out. I'm just guessing here. Maybe Gloria lavished him with pork and even the so-called on top of, which some people close to Gloria then were receiving. And I just wonder why the COA only audited 2007 to 2009 and did not include 2001 to